And we're back in studio. This is Fix My Biz, and today we're talking the Dance Junction. And of course, Quintus Jansen from the Dance Junction is in the studio with us today. And joining us is Sibongiseni Ngundze, who of course is from Nedbank Small Business Services. Hello and welcome.
Hello, Andile.
All right. Well, let's talk a little bit about what it takes to take a hobby and get, and move that from just that to being a business.
Well, I have a vision, so when I started off, it was just myself. But because I have this vision and I want to take it to another level, that's what made me start this business.
Yeah, and of course, look, Bill, he is a brand. He is a well-respected artist in his own right, as a dancer, as a choreographer, as a well-known television personality almost now. And yet he's thinking more legacy issues and stuff like that. You have thoughts on that?
One very important thing when you have an individual in a business like that has a reputation, it needs to be amplified. Yeah. It needs to be up front. And it will open doors on the outside, but even inside it's got to be shown. Yeah. Because it's part of his identity, okay? It's his business. Absolutely.
Factor. Let's talk legacy issues. I know that's definitely at the heart of what you believe as a business professional. This man is interested in leaving behind a lot more than just his name.
It has to break through from purely just being a business that's passionate about dance to being a business that formalizes and creates a legacy around the area of business that he's in. Now, there's a couple of things going for him. One is that in himself as a persona, he carries a lot of experience and is well respected across the industry. But one of the things that really he has done well is that he's registered a distinct identity of the school from himself. And that really helps separate from his unique individual identity. What that helps him to do is he's able to now attract new talent to his academy, build that school up, attract people who have got aspirations in Latin American dance and all those kind of disciplines, contemporary, and over time then have the reputation around the school as one of the best schools in Johannesburg, and I would dare to say in the country. That is what he articulates as his
Well, I mean, it's already happening because, I mean, dude, we were at your facility and it's literally a who's who in the dancing zoo. I mean, literally. Like
following on from that, the items that he needs to resolve are issues around his budgeting. Every small business needs to line item his expense and see whether you can reduce that expense. So even if it's 10% here and 5% there, you'll be amazed, Quintus, how your cash flow and your profitability will improve just by doing that line item budgeting exercise.
Bill, I know you're very passionate about the entryway into his business, but there's other things as well.
At the front door, I mean, there can be some work to be done there. I mean, you could have some lights, sort of like the old theaters, that gives it a little bit more of excitement. Maybe we need...
Drama.
Yeah, drama. Maybe we need a television set there with a big screen that shows people dancing so that even from the outside or just as you're walking in, you see it and you get a feel for it. We've got to make sure we have a rule there that if somebody walks in, there's got to be somebody talking to them within 5 seconds. That they don't wander around and wonder where they're at or feel like they've walked in the middle of somebody dancing and maybe they shouldn't be there. Okay? And those are the little things that create an experience. And then from there, we go into the sales skills. Handle that telephone properly when the telephone calls come in, or if we're following up on leads in reference to your website, how do I handle those outbound telephone calls? And the website, very important.
I mean, Sibongiseni, I mean, you're very passionate about people finding their audience.
Absolutely. If you look at where this business is positioned, which is in Rosebank, it is at the epicenter of the northern suburbs. And clearly, that's the target market that would ideally be attuned to ballroom, to Latin American dancing. If you really think about where he's currently been, and he's got a captive audience right now. I mean, people who have been to that school talk highly about it. Now, you've got to then say, if they do, have they told anyone about it?
Also, when people do come in, one of the programs that Quintus has is that I can come in for a free lesson. Now, after the free lesson, then I sit down and I talk to somebody. We've got to make sure that we're maximizing our closing ratios. Right? And sometimes just something simple.
Sorry, closing ratios, what?
Let's say that right now, that out of everybody that has a free dance, that 40% of them then decide to sign up for some dancing lessons.
That should go higher.
That's a closing ratio.
Yeah.
So if you want to improve that to 60%, you've improved your closing ratio to 60%. So you should know what that closing ratio is, and then you have a goal to improve it. Now, asking the right questions makes a difference. So he could develop, and any business can do this, you could develop just a simple little card that asks a question like, look, we don't want to waste your time. We just want to make sure that we're focused in the right area for you. So out of these 12 points, could you point out the top 5 that are important to you and why you're interested in dancing? And it could have that a wedding coming up, or I'm doing it because I want to impress somebody else.
And this will help him decide how to channel his energies and his...
And the conversation then moves to the need, okay, which then gets more people to buy into it because you're focusing on what's important to them. Because we assume sometimes why the person is here and we miss it.
Yeah, so much to think about though, eh? But here's the thing, I know it sounds overwhelming and everything, but are you ready for these fixes to start happening? And I mean, are you ready for the help you're about to receive to make your business happen?
Definitely. I think that the sooner we start, the better.
All right, well, that's exactly what I was hoping to hear. Well, let's go and fix his biz.